Hi, and welcome to New England L5R. This is our third podcast episode, and I have with me Louise
Hello, hi.
and Brandon,
For Rokugan.
my illustrious co-hosts, and special guest host Derek.
Hi.
This is, like I said, our third podcast episode, and I feel like this is an important one because the third episode is where we actually are doing it, and it's not just like something we're doing a couple times and then dropping. I feel like the third is a milestone, you know?
You know, every group talks about, like, let's do a podcast. Well, listen, motherfucker, we're doing the podcast, so... We've committed. We've committed.
I've spent countless hours casting pods now.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
We've also literally
like-
casted our pods for the Discord league, so, I mean, you know.
That's, whoa.
Dude, crazy.
This is a podcast about casting pods.
Absolute wild style bullshit, dude.
Get me out of here.
All right, it's good to see you, Derek. I will see you on Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
bud.
gonna be sweet.
Hey, if
Yeah, everybody
anybody
go
is
to
in the
Derek's
New England
tournament,
area, yeah, what is it? It's at Turn 4, right? Turn 4 Hobbytown, West Boylston. It's a fucking sword tournament.
Sorry.
Derek, give us the deets.
No, that's pretty much the deets. The Saturday, I am giving
At 2
away a
p.m.
sword at 2 p.m. for people who work or something.
Everybody in the entire region of New England pushes their tournaments back 2 hours just for me.
Yeah. Derek's
That's strong.
Eric is a little Hollywood, you know? He's really got to barge his way into places.
People ask me if I'm going, and I'm like, I'll go if it's at 2, and then I never expect them to actually do it, and everybody does it.
At this point, I
So-
feel like you have to. If everybody does it at this point, you're going to be surprised when somebody says no.
And well, you know, to be fair, I always bring a car full of people, so
Yeah, that's fair.
because nobody in Western Mass will do anything unless I make them.
That's also understandable. It's
I-
Western Mass. I mean, really, what is there to do, right?
Bonk them on
Besides
the head
nothing.
and load them into my car.
Hell yeah, dude. It's a little sketchy, but, you know, we take it. An entrant is an entrant. So,
All right.
today, we got a fucking lot on our plate, man. There's been some real motherfucking announcements.
Yeah, there's a good amount of news this week. We've been flooded with spoilers, so let's take a break from spoilers and start off with some Facebook drama controversy, which is always fun.
Oh, I fucking love it, dude.
Let's talk about FFG requiring people to submit deck lists 4 days before day 1 begins.
So,
Yep.
So, as somebody who's going to Worlds, you want to lead us off, Brandon?
Sure thing. Yeah. So a lot of Fantasy Flight's decision into this, which, for better for worse, is effectively they don't want to give the people from day 1B a much a better advantage than the day 1A. I understand that what they had last year
scouting
were.
reasons.
A lot of people were scouting, not specifically in the Legend of the Five Rings tournament, because there were 17 different cards available for that whole tournament for every player. But a lot for the other games that they had. And apparently it was enough that they could tack against the day 1A folks and then had a much higher win rate. I don't know if that's all actually true, but I emailed it back and forth with the organized play team because I was kind of upset about having to turn in deck lists a few days before, and I talked to Peter Shoemaker, who is the organized play coordinator for Fantasy Flight, and he was pretty. He explained kind of what they were looking at and why they weren't going to go with it, and also that they have heard the feedback, and they just they it looks like they understand that people are frustrated and that their system isn't perfect, but they're reticent to make changes this close.
So I feel like it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because on one hand it's easy and it's understandable to be upset with them for requiring deck lists so late, and on the other hand, their reasoning is fairly sound. I mean, there's two avenues, right? There's the avenue where by submitting deck lists, there's no chance that you have any element of surprise against your opponent if they are a serious player or you are at least on their radar. Which in this game, in a best of one game, that is.
Well, I mean, it's not like you don't get to see their deck before the game. It's just you have to have it submitted.
Are you
You-
sure?
Yeah.
Because the way it was spoken
Yeah,
about
no, you-
before was that you had
no,
to see
you do
their,
not
like,
get to
you'd
see.
their list.
No, you don't see.
Okay, it's
the-
not public
but
lists. Got it.
No.
Got it. In that case,
You just have
I
to
don't
lock
fucking
in what
mind.
you're playing.
I'm down with that. That's fine by me.
I do mind.
It is
but
obnoxious, and it's like clearly, something that should have been established much earlier. But
Yeah.
I don't have a
Well,
problem
I mean-
with people not being able to tech against their opponents after they see what their opponents are playing. Like, that's fucked up.
the biggest thing to me is how far ahead of the tournament you have to register, and how long they waited to tell people they'd have to.
Right.
They waited way too long to make this announcement that breaks what they normally do. But this just standard Fantasy Flight Games procedure to wait until the last minute to do things. This announcement probably was decided a long time ago and was just now told to people, which people have a reason to be upset about because people have already booked flights, already taken time off work. Like people have spent major money to get here a week ahead of
blew it.
time. Yeah, so like,
As Fantasy Flight does.
Yeah,
and I
that's
just don't understand why, why not just have everybody submit their deck lists at the start of day 1A. So even people who are playing on B will still need to submit at the beginning of 1A. And then I don't understand. I just don't get it.
even midnight the night before. I think
Yeah,
either would
sure.
be fine. But the reason that there's so much drama around this, what you said, right? There's so many people that have booked their flights and booked hotel rooms and taken extra time off work. Like me myself, I was planning to be there on Thursday. The only reason we're not flying out midday Thursday or like late Thursday evening and booked an extra 2 days of hotel is because we were gonna play in the tournament on Thursday and then use that as the final
Right.
push
And
to
now you
decide
cannot.
and lock things down, and now we can't. So that's
that-
fun.
This is, the cool thing about Worlds is that it's a melding of all the world's metagames. So like you get to come and meet all your friends that you've met online, like guys from Australia and Europe, and like your metas can mingle and you can learn things from each other, and everybody gets better. But it doesn't matter because I locked in my deck list 4 days ago. So like you get to do all this pre-Worlds testing, which is extremely vital information, but it's all gone now. But
I mean, now that I know, for some reason I had in my head they were public, but now that I know they're not.
I mean, it's public after the cut. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean that matters.
That's always been how it is.
So the
Even
other
without
thing that
submitting, I see.
so the other thing that's potentially reasonable to do is, I mean, if you think it's going to give you that much of an advantage, you could just wait until your day 1B second round starts and turn it in then, because the only penalty that they've talked about is that you round 1. So
You
like
get a round 1 loss.
you get a round 1 loss if you don't have your
Yeah.
deck listed on time. So why not just scout the field on day 1?
Well, I mean, you'd have to go 6-0 after the round 1 loss, right?
5-0. I think there's only 6 rounds.
I mean, that's something that
Really?
even the best players can't really guarantee you, right?
No, that's fair. It's high variance, but like
If you think the scouting would give you 20% on the field, like,
that's a beast. That's
Yeah.
a powerful maneuver, dude.
Yeah.
That is a real
let's not
ballsy
talk
move.
about that openly, because that just,
It does sound
mean-
a little scummy, as the kids would say.
yeah, against the spirit of the game.
oh,
one
it
might
does.
say.
It does, but I just
Mr. Judge.
it's fun. It's so upsetting that they didn't do that. And I see where they're coming from, but at the end of the day, I think this is a miss. And I think that this is going to do more to upset the player base than help
I mean,
them.
it should have happened much earlier.
And
Yeah, if we had
upset
known
as-
earlier, right?
as upset as the player
That's
base
upset.
gets, they get way more upset when FFG waits so fucking long, which is always the problem. But
Yeah. If they had made this announcement, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, even, all of the upset would be like, well, this is kind of a dumb policy. I wish that they didn't do that. Not,
Yeah.
I have spent an extra $150 a
Yeah.
night to stay in a hotel that I didn't need to do because I could have just flown in, played my day of games, and then left. Right? I
think,
They-
in fairness to FFG, which is something that I generally wouldn't say because keeping it a buck, I'm not a fan of them. But this is also like something that the benefits. We're not going to see the benefits, right? Like we're
Yeah.
not going to know if people would have teched against their opponents because it's just not going to happen now. And I think
Sure.
it's fair, at least, to say in their
But
defense that like we're not going to see the benefits of this, but that doesn't mean they're not there.
the techs wouldn't happen as well if you required them to submit deck lists
Months
at
ago.
midnight the day before.
I mean, yeah.
True.
Regardless, like, it should have been something that was well established early on. But I think if we're upset
company-
about anything, it should be being upset that FFG consistently does not communicate with us about anything under any circumstances, no matter what.
A company this big should be preparing like years ahead. So like once we get to this 2018 Worlds, 2019 Worlds should be planned, right? Or like far into planning.
Yeah.
So like why not at 2018 Worlds announce these changes for next year's Worlds? I don't know. These are all things that they could do, but they're not gonna do. So like we're wasting our breath talking about it. Derek,
Hey.
how do you feel?
Well, so this is the part I'm torn on. I agree, like they should have like put it out there a lot sooner, but I actually get why it's like several days in advance, because now someone can not do it, email them, be like, "Oh my god, I forgot. What do I do?" And they can still like catch all those people. If they are just like, "Oh, submit the night before," they're gonna have like 30% of the field submit, and it's just gonna be a mess.
Yeah. I feel like there's going to be a non-zero amount of people who just don't get the memo or pretend not to.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's going to be the case now, though. I feel like there's going to be.
Well, they're just gonna be handing out game one losses.
Yeah,
I hope that
Andy.
I hope that at least
I hope
what
they do.
is uphold that, because if then
Yeah,
they
you have to.
backpedal on that, I'm going to vocally describe to them how
You
poor
should start a riot.
customer service that is. I might start a riot.
Holy
If they
shit,
don't,
the
if they
FFG
don't
nerd
round
riot?
one
Let's go,
loss,
dude.
anybody who doesn't submit, like that's honestly like brutally fucked up.
Yeah, that's not even like, oh my god, that's not
Hey,
even a thing.
Let's not be too mad at them before they do that, huh?
Yeah, we're getting mad at them for something they
Let's
haven't
not
done
write
yet.
some fucking anger fiction here.
I just have faith that they will fuck it up.
I mean, as you
I don't
generally
necessarily
do.
think that they will for sure, but there are
Well,
things that are worrying for sure.
I live in a different world view than you do.
Yeah. So I hear that there's some new product that's been launched.
Oh, you
or
better
announced.
fucking believe it. I accidentally
That was a
showed it for like
sick
5
segue, dude.
seconds,
Thanks.
earlier. Anybody who's actually, for some reason, watching the stream as opposed to listening to it. Let me open this up.
Extremely professional. So let's get the first card up.
Sure, let me just
Oh,
close this. Well, look at the box, guys. This is Children of the Motherfucking Empire, baby. FFG, for once in their wretched, accursed lives, have not let us down. This is it 76 new cards or 76 total cards? I believe it's 76 new cards.
No, it's 82 new cards.
Ooh,
It's
shit, man.
76 of which will have 3 copies, 6 of which will be 1 copy. And as soon
Yes.
as we're ready to go down with the thought wagon on what that is, I have a very compelling theory.
I'm fucking excited. This is gonna be awesome. I mean, this is a product you're gonna have to buy once. It's not like Corset, just for anybody who's looking at the box and being suspicious, because I was as well. I'm really genuinely excited about this. I'm happy they're doing this, and once we get into spoilers, we're gonna see something that is somewhat of a bit of a throwback to the old game, which is I'm fucking super excited to see. Really happy about this.
It's also, I think, worth noting that at least as far as the pre-generated box thing can be trusted, it looks like the box is going to be larger, like much larger than the core set.
Might
Maybe
actually be able
even
to carry your shit.
a stood card sideways, which means that we could potentially have like inserts or
Storage.
all kinds of fun stuff to just
Yeah.
have that be a storage box for the
Having
game.
proper storage would be excellent. I really like the shape of this compared to the like, what is it, BCS, BCW cardboard boxes. The long ones
Yeah.
are obnoxious.
Yeah, long boxes.
And keeping
I just
my
call 'em
cards in a
long
binder
boxes.
is really just getting
Yeah.
obnoxious.
I actually just this week switched over to a long box for every clan because I just don't have room
Yeah.
in.
Woof.
Anyways, let's hop into the cards, and then afterwards we'll kind of discuss what we think might be ahead.
Solid.
And keep in mind as we switch into them, the whole box is supposed to be themed around dueling and honor.
Indeed.
Except
So
it might be like good this time because they seem to. We'll get into it, but it seems like they've a little bit more sufficiently nailed what dueling could have been, to an extent. Anyways, our first card is Student of War. It is a 3 Fate Lion character. It is a Dynasty character. 3 military, 2 politics, and 1 glory. Has the Bushi trait. It has a keyword Composure. And this version of Composure, we'll see in a moment why I said version. This character cannot lose fate or be discarded. You have Composure if your honor bid is lower than an opponent's. Derek, I'll defer to you here as the Lion player.
I'm going to talk about a lot of weird things because Lion players are weird. The first most exciting part about this card is it's Glory 1 instead of like 3
Yeah.
or some garbage like that. That's excellent.
A+.
The stats on this for a Lion card are actually pretty decent. The 3 cost for 3/2.
I was gonna say I was gonna say, this is the baseline what's a playable 3-drop stat, and you're like, wow, this stat line's so good.
Doesn't get
It's
potato.
not so good, but like
Just as
it's
a Lion
easily...
player, it makes me laugh.
Oh, this could have been like a 2/2 or 2/1 easily. Come on now.
Could have been a
for
2/2
sure.
with 2 glory, because go fuck yourself. You won worlds once.
So the other thing about Composure that I think might be uniquely powerful in Lion is that it seems like bidding lower than our opponents is at least part of our theoretical design. And you see that with cards like Tactician's Apprentice and some things like that. So I think that you can actually trigger Composure without doing what some people are talking about, which is making a Composure deck, which just sounds terrible.
Mhm.
Like, go away. But like the Lion player may just bid 3 with a Tactician's Apprentice and play anyway. And then here you go, this dude sticks. Putting it into play with EG is like the cutest thing in the entire game, probably. Like, you lose a political, you slap this into play, it doesn't leave play, it's adorable.
Oh man, you think EG will start seeing some play?
God no, that guy's so bad.
He's cool.
He can't win a conflict. Like 4 cost, 1/3, 3 glory. Come on now.
Yeah, be that.
But I think this card is like low key good. Not great, but like it's solid.
Will it see a sleeve?
Yeah, it will definitely see a sleeve.
I mean, that's really all you can ask for, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, it's like a windmill 3 of or anything, but like it will see sleeves for sure.
What are Lion's 3-drops? I know like there's Spirit Caller. I don't.
Spirit Caller,
another
LPB.
one doesn't come off. Oh, LPB, right? Wow, I can't believe I forgot
LPB
that
is
LPB
3
was
too.
3. It's almost
Yeah,
like
like
that card should be like 5, but no big deal.
It may turn into like Lion just being like 1s and 3s, and you just like drop out your 2s, because like Gunzo has a stupid pride into glory, and it just potatoes itself.
Too. Like 2-drops can get in the way of a 7 fate, per turn. If you're trying to flood board, especially. I think Lion generally has a fairly cheap conflict deck, bar their characters.
Yeah, it's really cheap. Even the characters are pretty cheap because you play like Crone and Reservist to those, like, you have 6 1-drops in your hand. So
I love those.
What do you have to say to people who think this card would be better if it had less stats and was a 2-drop?
No, I think that's wrong. I'm not totally convinced, but like I don't want it to. I don't know.
Well, because this cannot be discarded text is like pretty irrelevant on something over 2. Like, there's really very few things in the game that are going to discard something that's 3 or greater. Most of them are slammed into the Scorpion Clan.
I mean, it also wouldn't die.
Oh, it's just for the turn. It's just for the fate phase. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but like making it a 2-drop would make that cannot be discarded text a lot more relevant.
But then it's like
it would make the can't lose fate less relevant, though.
Sure. I'm not saying this. I'm saying other people are saying this.
It'd be like your 6th 2/1 for 2.
Oh, for sure.
Another one of those.
Yeah. I mean, it is in the 3 slot, though. In the 3 slot, you have Lion Spy Brawler, Kitsu Spirit Caller, you have Kihada, if anyone likes him still, Bayona.
Call me crazy.
See, I think this could be...
This could be a charge target in a pinch. I mean, it stays in play for a turn after the fact if you're lower on bid, right?
It actually... That is not... Yeah, that's not as silly as you think it is. I actually think that that's super relevant, too. Yeah, it sticks. It takes away the line better than some other stuff. Like, yeah, it's better than this.
It's not one of your 5-drops that needs it. It's like a 3-drop that needs it, which is a plus.
Yeah, no, I think this card's like low key good.
Let's move on.
All right.
Oh man,
So now that we've introduced the mechanic, let's destroy it.
Social Puppeteer is a Scorpion card. It is a Dynasty character. 3 fate, 1 military, 3 political, and 1 glory. Has the courtier trait, and its keyword is also composure. However, this is a different version of it. This character must be chosen as a target of an opponent's event if able. You have composure if your honor bid is lower than an opponent's. That is always the same. It's the actual effect is different between characters. Action: during a conflict in which this character is participating, switch honor dials with your opponent until your next honor bid. I'm not hugely sold on this, but I'm terrified of it. Eric, to you.
I really think there's like a hidden sub theme in Scorpion, in where if you look at our card pool, the cards are either like S tier insane cards or like the craziest funny fun jank imaginable.
Maze of Illusion.
I think this
Excuse me.
card is jank. I don't think it's good, and we can talk about why, and we can talk about how, like, people aren't really a huge fan of the design of this card because it, ruins this composure mechanic or whatever you want to talk about. But like, the composure part doesn't fucking matter. How many relevant real targets are there that are gonna this card's gonna lightning rod? There's really much less than people think, in my opinion.
Bonsai.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it eats people's boxes, it eats their bonsais. You can eat a crab, the mountain does not fall. Like, generally, every relevant event that Crab, for example, can play, period, is eaten by this, except for court games. I imagine for certain clans, like, I think Lion would basically be locked out of their hand against this card.
Nah, there's a bunch
She
of
can't
Lion
take
cards.
away the Lion.
She can't take a Legion of One either. I actually don't think Lion cares about her that much.
No,
It's
that's
just
true.
Bonsai.
Yeah. But then, I mean, there's also going to be the
Can't take
moments where she's like,
attachments.
you can't fate worse than death me, fuck you, but I mean, whatever. Like,
So
I'm just wary of it.
I hate
I
this
am too.
card. I hate this card for its design. Like, it's stupid.
Yes.
Like, the
agree.
composure ability is dumb. The fact that it's always on is stupid. Like, I just hate every Scorpion card they make, but I'm not convinced this card is, like, worth playing.
Right. I think it's, like, potentially really bad and very poorly designed for, someone that we were just talking about, how they've, like, redeemed themselves with some of the cards they've been designing. I think they botched this one, but I don't think it's actually going to see. I think it's going to see a ton of play when it first comes out because the community is convinced this card is good. I'm going to sit on the other side and be right or pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I'm just...
Yeah, I don't really see it being super impactful. Most of the cards that do stuff couldn't target it anyway, right?
Right.
Like even Bonsai, right? Like Bonsai could theoretically target it, but Bonsai specifies participating, so like it'd have to be in the military conflict for it to be relevant. And like I mean, I feel like they should have gone one way and made it, ignore targeting restrictions, or they should have just maybe thought of something else.
Yeah, it just strikes me as a card that, in a different way than, say, something like Oracle of Stone, it strikes me as a card that can't be healthy. It's either not going to be good or
Sure.
it's going to be really game warping and totally unfun.
Absolutely.
It's just another
Yeah.
Scorpion card to be afraid of the design, and that's unfortunate.
It's gonna. Yeah, I agree that it will be either totally irrelevant or find its way into a deck where its ability, unseen to us right now, will be extremely game warping.
We'll see, though.
Those are bad cards.
Courtly Challenger, keeping the long tradition of telling Crane to go fuck themselves with stats. This is a 2-Fate Dynasty character again. It has a dash for military, a 2 political, and 2 glory. Has the courtier and duelist traits. After this character wins a duel, honor it. After this character loses a duel, dishonor it. Action: during a conflict, initiate a political duel. Resolve the duel. The controller of the duel's winner draws 2 cards. Now, when I first saw the text of this card, I was confused because it just says resolve the duel now, and that made it seem like this card just instantly bully dueled something without any say. This is simply the new text for duels.
Well, I mean, it isn't actually
what?
not like you
I
can.
want to talk about this card, but can we really rewind to where he said with a straight face that like Crane gets shit on when it comes to stats? Like,
You looked
this
at
is a
Crane
2
card
cost.
stats?
It's a 2 cost dash 4.
It's a 2
It
cost
is effectively
dash.
a 2 cost dash 4.
It's got a dash, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah, military dashes are fantastic.
Like, dashes are not enjoyable.
Dashes are great. Dashes mean they can't be dueled.
You can't ride Sugu this man.
You can't ride Sugu. You can't Kaizen it.
If
And,
the
like-
lion, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, with all the new duel mechanics, this character can't be dueled militarily.
What about
I was just gonna say, if the lion version of this is just the inverse, I will never go soft again.
Crane does not get to complain about its low stats because you're one of the clans that can interact with the glory stat.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm fine. Our
You're
2
not
drop
allowed.
slots fucking
So-
totally okay. I'm okay with this.
So let's talk about the card now.
Yep. So starting with the first thing that's I think the most important thing, the new duel actions that are attached to characters have to involve those characters. So you're not allowed to say have Courtly Challenger out and be like, okay, your nonsense dude can duel my honored Yoshi. It has to duel the Courtly Challenger, which is not something that this article makes clear. And given that it has dual pride, it's at the 2 when it's already honored is probably pretty important, but then the dual pride's irrelevant. But at the 2,
Can
it's
we-
it's kind of rough.
Can we talk about how nowhere in the article or on the card does it say participating?
It does not say participating. This is true.
Yeah,
I don't
think you
I
have to.
don't believe that
There's
I
no
don't-
way.
I don't believe that it's exactly that whatever. I think it's if the character that's initiating the duel is participating, then you have to target a character that's participating. And if it's not, then you can do whatever. I believe that's what was said. But I couldn't
What's during
find
a conflict. So you're saying
They just
Sh-
made
Courtly
duelist
Challenger-
Shugenja, dude. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're saying Courtly Challenger can be at home and
Yeah.
during a conflict duel somebody that's on your opponent's home.
Yeah. makes sense.
that's
There's no fucking way.
potentially
don't
my
see
understanding.
The way
I
it's
would-
worded and the way it's not
No.
clarified doesn't make me think otherwise.
No.
Well, it's not clarified because the rules for this whole
Yeah.
that
I mean, I'm just
everything
saying,
aren't out yet.
you're like super
Um,
terrified of this like policy debate isn't a thing. It's just the same shit, but like way better, right? Like if I
So-
have to duel you with my dude who maxes out at 4 versus me policy debating you with an honored Hotaru and telling you to go fuck yourself, I mean,
I
You know?
cannot believe I'm having this conversation.
it's not
You-
a big deal.
You put a fan on this guy and he sits at home and every turn you get to draw 2 additional cards and honor this guy?
Sure.
And you duel my 1-drop? So like now I can't play anything that has a political skill lower
That-
than like 3?
That said, I kind of agree on that. Like, the way this character is designed versus some of the other duelists we'll see, it seems like they wanted to give you a reason to not instantly bully duel people or not low bid. But this character doesn't have that. This character strictly wants to win the duel. That might be within
blown
flavor
away.
of being a Crane character, right? That might be their intent, but it's strange that there's never really a reason where you don't want to win this duel, unless you're intentionally trying to honor dive them, which is janky and ambitious.
That's probably not the case. But I mean, it seems like they tried to tone it down a bit with the if it loses, you could dishonor it, but it's never going to lose a duel. Like, you get
You're
to
just
choose.
not going to duel if you don't know you're going to win it. I mean, it's really
Yeah,
simple as
unless you're
that.
playing Crane or Phoenix, you're never going to lose that duel. That's never going to happen. Or maybe Scorpion, but like, it basically says
fuck up
once
your
per turn, draw
Zokujin,
2
dude.
cards.
There's no way that this card doesn't have to be participating and have to target someone who's participating. There's no way.
I mean, I'm not that afraid of it personally, and I play
I mean,
crabs.
even if it does, it still says draw 2 cards every turn.
Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do? Not
Okay.
swing with your dudes? I'll be happy to race you if you do that, and I'm playing Crane, dude. I'll be more than happy to try to race you. If you're gonna give up a conflict per turn just to
No,
not let
but
me draw
that-
2,
That has strategy. You saying that you're okay with it not having to be participating, there's no strategy in that. I just suddenly can't play a ton of my Dynasty deck.
yeah. I mean, there's
Okay.
cards like that exist. It's just like a strong card.
Yeah.
If that's even the way it works, it
We'll
doesn't
just have
make
to
it
wait
like
and see how it works.
broken. It
There's
might
no
be
way.
good. It might not be. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I'm
I
not that
I don't
terrified.
100% recall. I think it was during the Unicorn AMA actually, which I think is transcribed somewhere. I didn't go all the way through all of them, but the things that I remember from the discussion were that the characters with them have to be involved in the duel, right? So you can't just be like, Yoshi duels your guy, I draw 2 cards. But this does say during a conflict. It makes me think that it would probably have to be participating, but who knows? Maybe it's during it doesn't specify that. It just says initiate the. So we'll know for more. We'll know for sure later on, right? When
Okay.
Right. Well, we'll get to the next one. Card Sasuke. Unicorn. Honest Challenger, once again a Dynasty character. 2 Fate, 2 Military, 2 Political, and 1 Glory. Bushi, Cavalry, and Duelist. Clearly a cavalry character, right? Composure, this character gets +2 military skill. Action, during a conflict, initiate a military duel. Resolve the duel. The controller of the duel's winner moves a character from his or her home area to the conflict.
This card is fucking insane.
So I don't see this as a card that you would want to ever win that duel with.
Sure.
Like
Just
if you
fucking
don't,
harpoon dudes.
yeah, if you lose, you throw the duel intentionally, and then they have to bring someone else in.
I mean,
sounds
there
fantastic.
are times where you will win the duel
Yeah.
and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because it also plays into the mechanic of outnumbering your opponent.
It's true.
But
That's
you're
cavalry.
right.
That's all I care about.
The bigger, yeah. I mean, really, realistically, you know, you could look at this card. You could chop off the action from the bottom of this card and say this is a 2-cost 4/2 cavalry.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And I mean, the unicorn players would nut, right? So like having this duel tacked on is literally just like icing on top of the cake that unicorn needs already.
I was actually
And
surprised when I saw people talking about playing this because I didn't know it had the cavalry keyword. And now that I know that, it's like,
Yeah.
well, this is like a no-brainer. This is a card that might replace one of my favorite unicorn cards. Like, I could see myself playing this over Shinjo Scout in a heartbeat. Or just playing it over, like, some other random mook, right?
Yeah, and the 1 glory doesn't hurt it too much either, because even
Right.
worst case scenario, it's still positive stats.
I mean, most likely he'll be a 3 military if he's Dishonored.
Yeah.
It's
There's
fine.
also just the mind games of, like, you know, there's many times where you just want to lose, but, like, when you lose and it becomes, you know, a 3-1 because your opponent, like, thought you wanted to win. Like, there's always going to be the edge cases where this card just absolutely beyond nutty, and there's a lot of cases where it's just nutty, period.
I feel like he's really, really good. I mean, he's already
he's
started
amazing.
really good, but he's really, really good. Like he's the best when you're going second, and your opponent attacks you, and then you can block with him and throw the duel and pull their other guy in, and now you have like a purple hawk tattoo basically, and then you can take your 3 conflicts basically unopposed from there.
You basically just have to ensure you can lose the duel, which means that they
Sure.
have to be afraid to attack you as a large dude, which means that your small dudes overrun them even harder, because you don't
This-
generally have large dudes.
This card puts a ton of decisions onto your opponent's plate, which gives your opponent spaces to mess up, which is always good for you. It makes your opponent have to make a ton of decisions.
Although I will say for a card called Honest Challenger, I'm gonna disagree. He's like trying to throw duels over here. Test
Just
unicorn.
trying to win Oushi's hand in marriage, man. Leave him alone.
Maybe he's just honestly not that good at dueling.
Could be. It's like,
Oh,
all right, guys, I'm not gonna win this. I think we both know this, but that
So-
guy, he's coming in.
Here's a card. I mean, it's not really a card. Don't listen to me, but it's a 2 Fate attachment called Miyamoto Daisho.
We're
It
done.
is a +2 military, +2 political buff. It is a weapon. It has the restricted keyword, and it also says the attached character may not have other restricted attachments. So it's like super restricted. And while attached character is dueling, your opponent cannot bid 1 or 5. This
Man,
card's
this card's
terrible.
fucking
It will
cool.
never see play.
It's cool.
I disagree.
I think it's
I
a
don't
cool
see what's
card,
cool about it.
but it will never see play.
It's fucking trash. Why would I pay 2 Fate for... One, why would I pay 2 Fate for an attachment? Why would I pay 2 Fate for an extremely narrow attachment that also limits the other good attachments I can play on my characters, while not giving me 2 Fate worth of stats? This could
Yeah,
get +4/+4, and I
mean-
probably wouldn't consider it.
The only thing that is even remotely decent about it is that you could potentially guarantee yourself to have composure, but like
Right.
that's not even worth it.
I mean, this card's bad. Like, I think we just move
Yeah.
on.
It's a 2-cost attachment. That means you can't play the good
Yeah.
attachments like katanas and fans.
Yeah, it's 2 cost attachments that fucks up your good attachments, and it just got limited use. I don't think it'll ever see play
Yeah.
even when there's more duels. Next card.
Yeah,
I think
when-
it's a cool card. Oh.
yeah. When your opponent sees that you've played a Miyamoto Daisho, they have achieved victory.
So, here's a card that some people were kind of excited about, but 2 Fate event. It's called Subdue the Spirits. It is a
Some
Phoenix
people,
card.
Derek.
Action. During a conflict, if you are more honorable than your opponent until the end of the conflict, each participating character you control adds its glory to each of its skills. This applies in addition to any modifiers to the skills of those characters due to being honored or dishonored. Derek?
Cool part about the card, the art is from the Phoenix book.
It is. It's before
Tsukune,
Tadaka lost
and
half of his
Kosori.
face.
It's like the climax of the story.
You get to see his whole fancy face, everything. Pretty good. I love this card, and I'm going to play it as a 3 of in every deck I play for the rest of the time L5R is a game.
That seems a mistake, but go on.
Okay. So let me rephrase. As long as I'm playing Phoenix or Crane. Or Lion, maybe.
It still strikes me as really bad,
Yeah.
to be honest.
In Phoenix, I think it's impressive. And in Crane, I think it could be very good, and in Lion, I think it. So
I think the only clan this will see play, and if it sees any play, is Lion.
Yeah, I mean,
Derek,
give me
as
your
a
thoughts,
splash or like period?
Like, if this sees play in any deck,
Period.
like, I think
This will see play in Phoenix.
I'm 100% certain that this will play in Phoenix.
How many guys are you attacking with?
Dude, this is a 2 fate event that is gonna give you like what, +5 at like on a good day, like on a really good day.
Yeah.
This is 2
Sure.
fate. You can bonsai for fucking 0, dude.
I think you're wrong, but that's fine.
No, I'm just
I
curious.
keep thinking. I think it gives you more than that, more often than you think.
How many
This one's
guys
like-
are you attacking with? Is what
Like
I'm saying.
2 in Phoenix, like 2.
They
That's
don't
like
have
10.
No, they don't, dude. There's this like weird thing where Phoenix players complain so much about their glory that everybody thinks that their default is 3, but like that's not the case. Their default is like 2, and then their big guys have like 3 and sometimes 4. Like they don't just have these 3
and then
glory dudes running.
And then you
around.
use your box. Use your box to get +2, and your random keeper initiates there, and bam, that's like 10.
Yeah, except
So you're
people
running
play
Keeper of Water
Kyunasawa,
instead of Seeker of Air.
I mean,
and people play Kyunasawa, not
No,
Old
well,
Box.
I think Morisato has
For now.
legs. Yeah, I think Morisato has.
Nobody's
more
saying
legs
it doesn't
to
have
be credit
legs.
for.
I'm just saying, what's the real competitive deck?
so
Morisato has the potential. Like I'm
Every
not gonna
Phoenix
dismiss
player
the
is
card
wrong.
based on that.
we'll see where it goes, but I mean, at the very least, in Lion Swarm, like this card is gonna win games. Like
That's
it's
the only
gonna
deck I
break
see this
provinces
seeing
for sure.
getting played.
What
I
else
really
do
like
you
it in Crane. I
splash
want to
with
make it
this as
work.
a Lion player because Phoenix, it traditionally there's only like 2 or 3 cards even worth splashing, right? You're looking at Display of Power, Clarity of Purpose, which is pretty bad for Lion. Like what are you realistically looking to splash with this if you're a Lion player? Is also a question I have.
There was a lot of Lion splash Phoenix with Kaido Kasori seeing play.
That's weird.
Derek?
That's true, but that's really expensive. I think it's like too many.
So,
Heavy.
What do you think? What do you think the splash is for Phoenix?
It used to be like Kasori and then like Seeker of Air or whatever that card's called that makes it the ring and air.
Right,
Seeker of Enlightenment.
Yeah, that's the one. And people were trying to do janky honor stuff with it. I don't know. It just all the good, like in
I
core
played-
or something. In core, all your good dudes had like a ton of glory, and like I'm spending all this time like trying to cut glory from my deck because it's just a stat that hurts me because I can't interact with it in any meaningful way. And this is like pushing me back the other way, and I don't know if I like.
I just
I'm gonna
feel
go
like
that way.
people are really looking for the magical Christmas land scenario with this card. Because
I mean,
bait for less than like 6 is nothing I'd ever want to do.
So in Lion, it's not even for military because you
It's
don't
a
need
political
it.
pump.
It's like
Yeah,
it's a political
it is a
pump for
political.
2. They
yeah,
could do
period.
like yeah, and it just like core games all your dudes in play, which is like
Yeah.
+6 or something. But it's political, which you can never get except from fans.
Well,
So it's something.
It's
but
+6,
I
but
don't
like,
know.
how often are you attacking with 2 or 3 dudes politically? Basically, never.
but you could, which you can't do now.
Right, but why would you do
Right,
that
this-
when you could just like Hisu Moritoride?
Rally to the cause.
Okay, but like you're gonna wait for Rally to use your Subdue the Spirits?
No,
I mean,
I'm just saying
it
that
is a game-winning.
It'll
scenario.
happen once a game.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I
game-winning
mean,
scenario, but like I'm not
At the
sold.
very least, like an all-out run at the Stronghold, absolutely, you would save this for that.
Your venerable historian is going to be so swole. All
So, yeah,
right,
I mean-
let's move on.
Yeah, If anybody plays it, it's Lions, my opinion, but we'll see. Here's a motherfucker. This is all you, Derek. 5 Fate, motherfucking character. This is a Kodo Toturi. He's neutral. Fuck you. 6
Yeah, why is
military,
this for Derek?
3
It's not a lion
political,
card.
3 glory, Bushi, champion, and imperial traits. Action during a conflict in which this character is participating. If you have the imperial favor, each player cannot play cards from his or her hand until the end of the conflict. Derek, tell me how you feel about this card being nice and gray.
Go fuck yourself, Fantasy Flight. Alright, so this card is super frustrating because Lion is the only clan that can't play it. I don't know if anyone else will play it, but Lion can't play it. Because you're not going to cut Tutori for this Tutori, because you can't take away the Lion without a stupid seal.
You won't cut one?
No.
No, probably not.
You
So
want to
in
try it?
Magic, I probably will try it because I've tried everything in Line, but I
Doesn't
don't think it's
seem
gonna
worth
work.
trying.
I'll try it because it's so adorable. If you like use his action and then use Uchiaki's action,
Yeah.
that's like the best thing that could possibly happen.
That's high rolling within high rolling within high rolling.
Yeah, it's I don't even your opponent should just pick up his cards. In Magical Christmas Land, someday the commander trait will be worthwhile, and then I can play my seal, and then I can play this Tutori, and it'll be sweet.
But isn't Lion? It gives command. Holy shit, that seal sucks, dude. Wow.
So in Magical Christmas Land, that all those things will happen, and this card will see play in Line. Until then, it's never going to happen. You can't take away the Lion. He has this huge glory stat that you don't want. That's already frustrating on your regular Tutori. It's just frustrating.
I don't know if you guys listen to Jade Throne. On the Jade Throne podcast, they said that this is a Scorpion card, and like I spit water everywhere. Did someone explain to me what they're talking about?
I have no idea.
It's a Scorpion card more than other clans card, but it doesn't make it
How?
a good card.
This card is a unicorn card.
In what world would a blue man, not being crane or crab like blue is in the Magic term, not want a like hard control aspect that is off statted for their clan?
Because I can't play cards.
Yeah, you're just gonna lose on stats.
I mean, he's off statted for your clan, and you could just log them out. Like they can't poke you.
I guess.
Nah, I think that's crazy. Like I think like Sunuri just like buffs you or something, and then you just lose on stats. I think that's like insane.
Yeah, my stats are so bad. How am I? I mean, I guess I'll have 6 from this guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with the chat, which is another magical Christmas Land play, but it's a sweet one. Which is if you swing with this in Child of the Plains and you immediately activate it, it's hilarious.
I think I've been talking about how Child of the Plains is playable before this card came out. So
This card is a unicorn card. That's what this card is.
Child of the Plains could be blank. His text box is blank because he is a 1-cost cavalry character. Like his text box is basically blank. So this guy just makes his text box a little bit relevant.
The other thing too is like if you already have your actions on the table with the stupid spell,
Right.
like you have a lot of stuff sitting on the board already, and then you just lock your opponent out after they play some meaningless action, and you're all set. The problem, like the other issue with this card, which is clearly like I think intentional, is that it's probably at its best when you're like swinging and your opponent gets an action before it goes off, and I don't know how often that's going to matter. It might matter a lot.
I feel like it will matter quite a bit.
Yeah, you
if
just
your
like
opponent has an answer to Tuturi.
Yeah, you fate worse than death them like out, and that's that. So I want this card to be sweet, but I'm never gonna play it.
I thought their like reasoning behind why he was neutral was like kind of cool because he's like, you know, he's putting the needs of the Empire before the clan. But like, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna make this guy neutral, like, shouldn't Samiko be neutral too?
Yeah, I mean, basically, Tutori loves the Empire, and that's that.
Yeah, no, I get it for lore reasons, but like,
yeah, like each champion has distinctly different duties.
It just sucks.
I mean, the real reason is that every single like Scorpion player is like a tryhard who thinks they're personally going to save the Emperor / Empire, and like Lion, you're just part of like a whole that's awesome, and so you know,
Scorpion Batman wannabes.
Man,
Yeah.
everywhere I turn, I'm
It's
getting
me,
punched in the
Shoju.
face for liking the guys who wear masks, I guess.
I mean, they are pretty lame, right?
So I really want to see like a neutral shoju now that he's the regent. That would be super cool. But I don't know if
Clearly
that's
he's
gonna be.
this card gives me hope that there's going to be a lion Kaide, though.
That also gives me hope for that.
How mad would
I'm
people be
super
if
excited.
the experienced shoju was still a scorpion?
Meh. I
'Cause
mean,
people seem
meh.
to be pretty mad.
here's the
that
thing:
this
like
is neutral.
anytime any Scorpion card is ever revealed at all, people complain so much it's
God.
actually unbelievable, right? No, I'm serious.
Yes.
Like I give Scorpion shit, but like people love to fucking complain about Scorpion while just like even until recently they just kind of ignored the elephant in the room or the dragon in the room, so to speak. So no matter what they do with Shoju, like people are gonna complain.
They could be getting railed, losing by 40 force on their stronghold to a dragon player.
To one
complain
card,
about
it's
fate
just
worse
like
than
one
death.
Raitsugu
Yeah.
with like 15.
One
points.
Raitsugu with 15
7
fate on him.
yeah.
Yeah. And they're like,
And they'll
man,
be like,
playing
man,
against
fucking
Scorpion
way the
sucks.
Scorpion sucks. Like, like, I swear. So I mean, who knows? That said, I would love to see a Kodo Kaide, and I hope they do that.
That would be
'cause,
cool.
Lion could use some cool love, and it'd be cool for the story.
And they need Shugenjas.
They really need Shugenja, which potentially getting to some Shugenja stuff after. You can see the tabs open, but let's go to the next card.
Yeah, let's move to the next Scorpion card in defense of Rokugan.
In defense of Rokugan, this is a crab event. One fate. Action during a conflict, sacrifice a friendly defending character and choose an attacking character. Set the attacking character's military skill to 0 until the end of the conflict. I'm going to start this off by saying I think this card is good. I think this card might not see more play than 1 or 2 of in a deck, because crab simply cannot fucking support this yet. And I would also like to start this off by saying, if you compare this card to Miyamoto's Fury, you are not a good player.
I think we've gotten to a point of player skill where this might be better than Way of the Crab.
Yeah. Way of the Crab is about the threat it represents. Always.
Right. So like it may get to a point where people, you know how people run assassinate to threaten the assassinates. People might go to one Way of the Crab just to have one to make people always play around it, but then move to more to this card, which I think is just a better all-around card.
The real issue with Way of the Crab, so people run Way of the Crab at 2. Very rarely do you see it at 3. So we would probably cut it for one of these and maybe fit a second one of these, but I said this when I was talking about the card in our Discord. Crab simply does not have the fodder to just let this happen all the time. Like, it's a good card. There's no doubt in my mind that this card is, like, decent. At the very least, decent in Crab and probably good overall. But, like, Crab does not have sacrifice fodder yet. Even though they want us to have, like, all these sacrifice mechanics, we just don't have the cards to sacrifice. Like, even if we try to run a different build, like, other than the tower build that we do, the build's just, it's just not there. There's just not enough cheap cards.
So one thing to point out is that it just says sacrifice a friendly defending character. It does not have to be a crab character. So like,
Yep.
Some splashes will play into this with small dudes for sacking.
Mm-hmm.
But they do have to be defending, so you can't have anything that's dash military.
Like,
because it only sets military skill.
It's totally doable. It's just,
I really think this is a really good Scorpion card.
this just isn't there yet. For crab.
Those cards are really good.
Yeah,
It
I
is
think it's really interesting, and I think that we are going to see just it get better with time.
Absolutely. So Derek, why don't you tell me why this card's Miyamoto's Fury again, so I can get really mad at you on stream?
This card is Miyamoto's Fury.
It's not even fucking close, dude. I can't even believe you said that. I'm pissed.
Good talk.
Continue though.
If you play this card and you somehow lose that conflict, you're the worst player in the world.
Oh, of
So,
course.
if you play this card, you win the conflict. That's dumb. All right, I rest my case.
Why are you defending with so many dudes as crab? Right? Just take military favor. Same as Crane Boss. They're gonna bow your dude, just take military favor. I mean, he's
What?
set, but you have military favor. We defend with one dude and sacrifice him to set your
Oh,
skill to 0.
your
military
opponent
favor, you
takes
claim the
military
ring.
favor. Gotcha. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
Crab's
thought you were
not
saying,
keeping the fucking favor from you. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're already losing the game. take military favor to play around this. Crab can't generally afford to defend more than one. Like, it's just not going to happen. This card is good. I'm not saying it's not, but like, this card is Miyamoto's Fury. This card is not even close.
I am being a little bit over the top intentionally, but I think it's stronger
It is
than
good.
you're implying.
It is
So
a strong card, but
Shifting gears a little bit, I think this may be the push that pushes us, into Splash and Crab again and Scorpion. We have the
you're
one
hitting with the
drops.
levy?
We have the one. We have the one drops to fuel this card, being able to, like sacrifice a Bayushi Liar to. Well, that wouldn't work because he's a dash. Being able to block with a manipulator that we've already triggered at the beginning of the turn, and then sacrifice him to set your guy to 0. That's a lot of value there.
It's also 2 influence, which is really nice. Like 2 influence is a nice fucking number for this type of card to be.
2 influence, especially if we go into Keeper, there's a chance that we can like fit this and Watch Commanders and like Reprieves into a deck, which would be like just a really, really solid defensive dishonor package. And like this will, if I block with Aramaro and a 1-drop, and I can kill your tower after Aramaroing him and then set him to 0.
Come on, man.
I think that's a little cornery and a little janky, but like there's definitely a non-zero chance of that combo coming together.
I don't think that's actually that corner case.
Yeah.
Like, against some clans, it won't be worth defending, like, putting all that into one defense, but against other clans, that will 100% be worth doing, and you should do it.
Yeah. I agree.
This card's dumb. Let's go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Look at this big motherfucker. Look at him kick that bitch in the face, fucking Crane. This is hand-to-hand. This is a Zero Fate Lion event. Action. During a military conflict, choose an attachment on a participating character. Discard that attachment. Then your opponent may resolve this ability. For the record, this loops until somebody decides not. But look at this
We
bitch
can't
ass
actually
Crane getting
see.
kicked.
We can't actually see the text. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, this art's fucking great. He's actually getting kicked in the balls. Go ahead, Derek.
This card is so good. I have a hard time evaluating it for splashes because let me start over. Everyone keeps telling me how this card is like worse than Let Go, and that's obviously the case. It's gated like 5 times, like every line card is. So
What isn't worse than Let Go?
I mean, it is, but
What?
You said
No,
what
not.
isn't.
oh, what isn't?
It's 0 cost. It has literally no costs to it. It's just upside.
Yeah. So they're never going to print a card that's better than Let Go. It's just not going to happen. Like, it's impossible. You'd have to
They
be
fu-
like
they
free
fucked
and
up.
discard 2 attachments. So yes, this card is worse than Let Go, but this is probably what Let Go should have been in the first place. So let's just go from there. There are only 2 attachments that I care about as a line player, and they're Cloud the Mind and Talisman. And this discards one of them, and it's the more important one. And then my opponent can do something that I don't care about at all. And if they're dumb enough to do that, to discard my random katana or something, I get to hit them with it again. I have no idea how good this is for anyone else, but for Lion, this card's like amazing. You can finally play a splash other than Dragon, because the most important Lion card is Let Go.
Yeah, I don't know if this will see play anywhere but Lion. Unicorn's talking about it, but I just don't really see that because they're another faction full of S tier attachments, and like I don't understand why you'd want to do this and like trade your Spyglass for one of their attachments. Doesn't seem super great. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Your talismans and your like whatever water token thing are usually not participating, so that helps.
Yeah, sure. Force of the River, by the way.
But Spyglass for sure. That's annoying. I mean, they get like other military tools. They get like Ready for Battle and stuff. So
Yeah, Ready for
Lion
Battle.
cards have like pretty low influence costs. So
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
that could eventually be something, but Let Go's so good.
Yeah, keeper deck or support of the Lion someday. You have like half of your fucking deck be
Support of
Lion
Lion's
cards.
a good joke, but yeah.
Which would be more Lion cards than Lion players play. because we
Yeah.
counted it the
Dude.
other day.
You get the new lion card. What's her name? Shinjo Tetsuko, and Aegis Crone. Whew. Whew. That's a combination.
Yeah.
That new
So-
lion card, Shinjo Tetsuko, is pretty good, huh?
God
Yeah,
damn,
purple
I hate that
berry,
card.
Yeah, new lion card, pretty sick.
So this card is like game changing for Lion. I have no idea what it does for anyone else, but for Lion, it makes it so you can play other splashes. And even if you choose not to play another splash, it lets you go from 3 let goes to 5 let goes pretty trivially, which is also really good. Because then you don't just lose to Cloud. Because the actions on Lion cards are actually pretty good because our stats are terrible. And so Cloud the Mind is usually like, if they Cloud, they don't die. And if they don't have a Cloud, they're dead. So having 5 let goes is good.
I agree. Brandon, are you there? What are your thoughts?
I am here. So I really want to see this happen in a Dragon Mirror match because I think it would just be hilarious to watch. But yeah, I pretty much agree with Derek, right? I think that everything is fair. Like this is going to be fantastic for Lion. Maybe we'll see this in Crab a little bit, or maybe we'll see this that would like to splash Lion, so that they don't have to worry about splashing Dragon to get let go. They can splash Lion to get let go, and then also have access to a Legion of One or access to and like Ageless Crone or any of the other really cool Lion Conflict characters. But in general, I think we'll probably see this be hit. I think this is going to hit all kinds of play. I think we're going to get a lot of different places, at least initially, maybe some less, but it does give the attachment removal in not Lion. I mean, in not Dragon, which is nice.
Time to play some fucking Crane with this. Crane Lion Splash, Phoenix Lion Splash. It's a whole new world.
And Lion can now splash stuff that isn't Dragon, which I think is the most important thing. I
That's the big
really
Dude,
Yeah,
Lion is the big winner from a new Lion card. That's sick.
every I mean, I want more cards like this that fixes these corner cases that are dug into certain clans because like it's kind of hard right now to some clans just cannot splash, like their splashes are locked in, like Crab's splash is locked in, Lion splash right now is locked in. We need any card that breaks those locks and lets people have fun deck building is super important.
Yeah. Not having splash options is a quick way to make deck building not fun. See the entirety
Yeah.
of Hawk Tattoo meta. Deck
Yeah.
building just became completely unfun. On to the
This,
final card. Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a 15-second jank
Yeah,
thought. Phoenix splashing Lion might like this card too, because
Yeah.
there's like some weird Lion cards that are good in Phoenix,
Yeah. Ancestor
including
strength,
the
baby.
and that stupid weapon that like Lion
Water
can't
sword.
even play. Yeah, Water Sword. So this might see play with that. I don't know.
Keeper,
It'd be
Water,
funny and dumb.
Morisato, Phoenix, Lion Splash. I like it. I'll get down. Thankfully, the last card we have on our list is a piece of shit, just like the Miyamoto Daisha. This is a 2-fate attachment. It's called Jewel of the Kanasin, I think. I might be mispronouncing that. I apologize if I am. It is a +1 military, +1 political item Meishodo. While attached character is attacking, lose 1 honor. Reduce the attacked province's province strength by 1 until the end of the conflict to a minimum of 0, unlimited. It's terrible. It's a 2-fate attachment. Doesn't really give good stats. It's 1 fate on Shahai. I don't care. Unicorn player, stop telling me that. It's still bad. Anybody else?
It's cute.
It's 3 influence for some reason, which is just
Interacting
hilarious.
with province strength is a rare thing. I think only 2 cards do it right now. It would be Jewel de Kanasin and the Ratling.
Yeah, Nizumi.
Or it's Kamasin, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, interacting with province strength is cute. I feel like this card might have been a case of them not being able to work with numbers outside of the ability to use a 0.5, right?
Interacting with province strength is strictly worse than just gaining stats.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it sort of depends.
Volley Variable just said ride them down also interacts with province strength. Another card that has never seen a sleeve.
No, I remember that card now that you mention it, though. That card's
Yeah, people
cool,
were
man.
foaming at the fucking mouth for it when it came out.
Dude, that card's cool.
It's
I'm all
not.
about cool
It's,
cards
it's
that don't
cool,
suck.
but like, yeah, it's cool, but like this card's like kind of cool.
Yo, look at
'cause
this
it's
guy's big meaty claws, though. Look at his fucking hands, dude.
the
That's
fucking
a beefy
flavor text.
fingers, dog.
The flavor text is really cool. You know, I love like fucking
Yeah, dude,
stuff
it's
from the Burning
cool.
Sands in the lore. It's
Yeah,
really cool,
buddy.
but like,
Dude, let's get
Good
those
lord.
heartless people, whatever the fuck they're called.
yeah, the
Legendin
Heartless,
was
yeah.
one. If Ambition's in the game, ooh. But
But
yeah,
this card is
card
absolute dog shit. Yeah.
it's bad. It's almost never good. Like it, even trying to find a Christmas Land scenario for this card to be good is fucking hard, man. This shit sucks.
This is a 2-fate
good job.
attachment that's just like worse than a bonsai.
Like, good job, FFG design team. You really hit it out of the park for a clan that needed some more help. Kudos to you. I'm glad that this is the unicorn card that we see.
You see the chat? Oh my god, that's so funny.
What?
Volley Bearable again said, it looks like the dude in the art is us looking at the card.
I like that.
That's so
Powerful
fucking good.
imagery. Let's not fucking look at this card anymore unless somebody has
Yeah.
any final thoughts.
I don't think so. Brandon literally left because of this card.
I don't fucking blame him. So
Yeah, I have no thoughts.
I have this tab. We'll hammer these out pretty quick because we gotta wrap it up soon. But they've released what will be the choices for the top of each clan at Winter Court, which is Worlds. This is the
They've released
Lion.
two of
Two of them.
7.
Two of
yeah.
them. This is the Lion one. It's a call to stewardship. This is the Unicorn one. I was looking at the Lion Hisumori Toride art because that was their city once. Not anymore though. Anyways, basically the top of clan for each clan at Winter Court will choose a family to represent their clan for X, Y, or Z reason. Each clan has a differing reason. So for Unicorn, these will be the samurai to be put in charge of managing the fortification of Hisumori Toride.
HMT. Yeah.
I'm sorry. The town of Hisumori
town-
Mura, actually, and the fortification.
and the
Hisumori
fortification.
Toride. So
Yeah.
the Shinjo family would rule the village with compassion and open-mindedness. The Yuchi family would command the spirits of the land to bolster the village's defenses. The Ide family would transform the village into a vibrant center of trade. The Utaku family would instill honor upon the village's inhabitants by ensuring the tenets of Bushido are strictly followed by all. And the Moto family would rule in the style of their ancestors, bringing foreign traditions to the people of the village. I like these decisions mattering,
But
even if
I
they
mean,
are few and far between.
I don't. It's not a very impactful decision, really, is it? Like,
I mean, how do we know that? Who's
I
to
don't
say
know,
they're
it
not
just-
going
it
to print
seems-
future cards based on this?
seems kind of small. That's all.
Yeah, it might. But I mean, there was also like the decision for Meishoto to not be outlawed in the Unicorn
Sure.
anime. They asked like, what
Yeah,
would
but
Shahai
that's
do?
what I'm saying is that in comparison, these story decisions seem much smaller than the previous ones they've been giving.
Is that unicorn
Yeah.
unicorn card gone yet?
Yes, you can
Um,
come back.
All right, solid. I'm
I
back.
feel like this
So
being,
I would
like, for
say
Hisumori, Mura and Toride, like it will matter a fair bit to the Unicorn story. Actually, like I don't think this is a zero sum decision.
I think the lion one. I don't know if you want to flip over to that real quick or if you have it open,
Yeah.
but the lion options have some pretty ridiculous ramifications, not just for lion but all of Rokugan. So Totori is appointing the family that's a representative is going to lead the Emerald Army, which is the Emerald Magistrates, like, I'm going to go enforce the laws sort of deal.
Yep.
And one of them is the Matsu, who will lead with ferocity and without hesitation,
Yeah. So
which
let me just,
which means they're going to go siege. They're going to, I feel
They're
like
gonna go
Totori's
kill
going to go, like, murder some Crane and take back some, something. Maybe not,
so
but
the
that's how
lion
I read it.
choices are the Akoto family.
That'll be
commanding
hard
with
to write.
Honor and integrity. The Matsu family commanding with ferocity and without hesitation. The Ikoma family commanding with cunning and subterfuge, and the Kitsu family commanding with guidance from the recently departed. And again, these are
If
the general of the Emerald Legion, I believe.
I don't really see how they could write the Matsu suddenly going and like sieging the Crane because like they've been writing Toturi as trying to avoid that conflict as much as possible. And
That's the Matsu motherfucker. They
if
don't care. They
yeah,
don't
but if he
die.
then right, but I'm saying if he then appointed a Matsu general who immediately went and did that, it would go against all the things he's been. It just seems like a weird, they'd have to really work their muscles to write that well, which I'm not saying is beyond them.
Yeah, they would, but at the same time, without hesitation.
I do think
Yeah.
that this one has a bit more far-reaching ramifications for the overall story in Rokugan rather than the Unicorn decision, which matters mostly between them and the Lion, I believe.
This one feels a bit bigger to me. That's kind of what I was referring.
To the top placer, in Worlds for Lion, be a cool guy and choose the Ikoma family.
Yeah, for sure.
If Drew wins, who's going with me, he said he's gonna choose Kitsu.
That's fine as well.
I mean, you really can't go wrong. Like, I like all the Lion families, even though I'm not a huge fan of the clan. They're all
I hope Ide wins the Unicorn one.
Absolutely.
If Kitsu wins, I think we're gonna see an Arasao reprint card. Spirit.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
It's Totori's older brother, who's the champion before him.
Oh yeah, he got fucking blasted, huh?
So before we move on to the games, I did just want to touch on one thing about the Emerald Children of the Empire pack, if that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 234 cards. 72 of those cards, or 70, are three cards each, and 6 of them are 1 card each. So my thoughts about what that could possibly be. If we look at how many new, so going back to previous Fantasy Flight releases, what are the cards from the clan packs that only have 1-ofs, and they're either the provinces, or the support cards, or the strongholds, and we're probably not going to see support cards, at least not 6 of them. That doesn't make sense. I wouldn't see 6 provinces. That doesn't really make sense to me either. But if we look at the fact that Lion and Unicorn both got a new stronghold, and that leaves 5 clans that didn't, and a neutral option for stronghold, maybe those 6 cards will be 6 new strongholds.
Mantis, huh?
That's Children of the Emperor. I'm not thinking it's Mantis. I'm thinking
Fuck
it's
you.
Imperial. But maybe. Yeah, no, it could be. That's my thought, anywho. Just because it's weird that there's exactly 6 cards, and that just matched up really well in my mind. So I'm calling it here first, folks.
Maybe you're forcing it to fit, right?
Would Ishikawa be playable if the neutral stronghold counted as an Imperial card for his count?
He'd be a 3-Fate 3/3 with 2 glory, I think, and then he'd
starting at a 3-Fate 3/3. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Be fine.
For sure.
If there was enough
That'd be
neutral
cool.
cards to support a neutral, like an Imperial stronghold.
Well,
would see
a lot of
Ishikawa
neutral
being good.
cards, a lot of neutral IDs in other FFG games have inflated influence numbers.
Oh,
To
and
make
they
up for it?
splash, yeah.
Yeah, so you can splash a lot more. That's a pretty standard design tenet they've used in other games. So
Yeah, I mean that maybe we could see it with some like higher
20.
influence cost. Maybe they could take some other clans conflict dynasty characters. Who knows? There's all kinds of cool design space that they could hit it with, and we'll just have to wait and see.
They've done in Game of Thrones with like maesters, where you could take maesters from any house. So like if you could take anything with the Imperial keyword from other clans. Just obviously that might be broken. I'm just spitballing it off the top of my head.
All right.
I'm gonna play all of the magistrates.
Right. That's what came to mind immediately for me.
Do not count skill in conflicts anymore at all.
As long as you play 3x Enigmatic Magistrate.
So before we
My
head
least
off
favorite
into
card
the
in the game.
games, Derek, I need your choice. When you go win Worlds, what family do you pick?
Is Derek going to Worlds?
No, like I was just saying, like
Oh.
if he were the one to just head off and win Worlds, what family would you pick for the Lion?
So I'm gonna be lame here. Sorry. If you need a general, you need an Akoto. That's pretty
I'm
much
okay
it.
with this, dude. Honestly, the Matsu are my least favorite family of the Lion. Like I think the Akoto are pretty cool.
I agree.
The Matsu are just kind of boring.
If I get to pick for Crane, I'm gonna pick the Yasuki family.
Hey,
Hell yeah.
go fuck yourself. We're just fine being Crab.